Make sure you subscribe on all platforms and leave that 5-star review. Let's get it.
Did you not like the way I said data?
Hey, why you white people always talk about data?
Someone has to do it, bro.
We from the hood. We don't give a damn about no damn data.
What is the hood version of data?
Net ratings.
Go in there and bust your ass.
Net ratings.
Right, Candace?
You on the eye test, huh?
Back me up, Candace.
Back on the block.
Yeah.
Candace is from
Shaq on the block, man.
Yeah.
Shaq on the block. He don't want to care about the net.
All right, we'll see if
data.
they can bust that in the play.
RPIs and WARP.
But yeah, when LeBron retires, the face of the league, that's tough. But, we win a championship. I got something to say about it. I know that.
Talk about it!
You are now tuned in to Above the Rim.
Hoops talk for the streets.
Family, what's good? Welcome back to another edition of Above the Rim. Hoops talk for the streets. You already know how we do, family. Brought to you as always. It's your host, Justin, aka Just Blaze. Family, you know the drill. To get in contact with me, you can always hit me up and follow me on Twitter at JustBlaze_513, on IG at JustBlaze513, on Facebook and YouTube. Search Above the Rim Podcast, and also email the show as well. Above the Rim NBA Podcast at gmail.com. Tap in and leave the family a voicemail. The line is always open. Talk about it. 908-718-1592, family. Best way to support the show is by copping your merch. Make sure you go do that. Link is in my bio and show some love. I appreciate it, of course, family. Make sure you leave your boy a review on iTunes, on Spotify, if you rock with the show as well. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that thumbs up, hit that like, hit that subscribe also as well. Subscribe, comment, show some love. Tell me your thoughts. I want to hear from the family as well. I'm back, man. I'm back. The streets is back. Family, I appreciate you rocking with me for the last couple of years, man, for being patient with me while your boy took a slight break. Major things happening in my household. I took a break for the birth of my son. Shout out to my baby boy, Makai, for real. The best thing that has ever happened to me. Had to take some time off to be focused. Had to give my family all the attention that they deserve, and rightfully so. But I'm back now, family. Sorry for the applause. I'm back, man. Thanks to all the people who have reached out to me. I appreciate you guys, of course. I'm doing well. I hope you guys are doing well. And let's get to it, man. So many things are happening in the NBA. I know I took a little bit of break. It's been, a couple of months since I've been here. I know the streets haven't really heard from me on wax, but I've been on Twitter. I've been voicing my opinion. I've been saying a couple of things here and there, but I kept it kind of light. You know what I'm saying? But I'm back. I'm here. I'm ready, man. I want to talk about the NBA right now. I couldn't wait to come here in the studio today, talk to you, family, about the NBA and whatever's happening in the NBA. So let's start it off, man. Let's start off with a little bit of news around the NBA. I wanted to slightly discuss some player milestones, right? The NBA's all-time leading scorer secures yet another impressive milestone in his career. LeBron, over the weekend against the Denver Nuggets, became the only player in NBA history to reach 40,000 career points. That's insane. Much respect to LeBron. It took LeBron James the exact same number of games to go from 30,000 to 40,000 as it did for him to go from 0 to 10,000. That's 368 games. So that's incredible. And that's time, revisiting itself. So that's crazy. So shout out to LeBron for getting his 40,000 career points. Appreciate him for that. Pushing the game forward, longevity, you know what I'm saying? When we talk about longevity too, longevity is key. And if there's one stat that LeBron dominates in, it's availability. Let's be honest, he's always been a guy to play in majority of his games in the season, other than this last couple of years when he's been taking a couple of extra PTO games for the LA Lakers. But other than that, LeBron James has always been thought of as a durable player, somebody who always plays the game, who always plays his major games, especially early in his career and especially the first 10 or 15 years of his career. The last 2, 3 or so, like I said before, he'd be taking some PTO, taking off some games here and there. But I think he's afforded that. He's LeBron James. He's been in the league for this 21st season, 20 or 21st? I believe it's 21st season. And it's crazy. So LeBron James, he's earned the right to take off a few games. LeBron James, very impressive. We knew that already. I mean, that's no secret here, but he continues to be impressive. And that's what's most impressive about it. Sorry for all the impressives. But I think also what I found also as well that I was very impressed about with LeBron James is that he has the highest points per game in the fourth quarter for his career this year. Shout out to LeBron for that too. LeBron being this effective in his 21st season is just amazing. He's defying Father Time. He's defying the odds. And so you got to give him some respect for his consistency. One of the best to ever do it. Shout out to LeBron James. Moving on to another player milestone. We got to talk about my man CP3 a little bit. Obviously, we know he fractured his hand in early January. He missed about a month of action, but he's back now. Even still, he may have enough time to surpass Jason Kidd for number 2 on the all-time assist list, before season end. Chris Paul needs a little bit over 350 more assists to move past Jason Kidd for second place on the all-time assist list. So shout out to CP3 for hopefully maybe getting that milestone this year, or will probably bleed into next year. Also, he needs a little bit over 105 more steals to move past Jason Kidd, also for number 2 on the all-time steals list. So given how much time he missed from injury, his chances of doing so is probably a little bit slim in this year. But next year, I believe he possibly will. So going into next year, maybe at the end of the season this year, going into next year, he could possibly be number 2 all-time in both assists and steals. So shout out to Chris Paul for that. Moving up the all-time ladder. Kevin Durant, we're going to get to too. He's entered the season number 13 on the all-time point scoring list, and he has not let up yet entering the season, right? Early in the season, he passed Hakeem the Dream for number 12. Then he passed number 11, Elvin Hayes before he got past Moses Malone at number 10 for all-time, to be the all-time leader scorer. Not the all-time leader scorer, but top 10 in point scorer. He's also creeped into the number 9 spot recently, surpassing our guy, Carmelo Anthony. And now he has the potential to pass Shaquille O'Neal for number 8 by season's end. So shout out to KD for moving up the career scoring mark. That will also put him on the cusp of 30,000 career points and join a group that includes LeBron, Kareem, Karl Malone, Kobe, MJ, Dirk, and Wilt Chamberlain as well. So shout out to for Kevin Durant there. James Harden also moving up on the list. James Harden will crack the top 20 all-time in points in scoring very, very soon. He needs around 60 points or so to pass number 21, Alex English, and then around 180 points or so to pass Vince Carter for number 20. Russell Westbrook, if he does come back before season's end, Russell Westbrook has a unique opportunity to hit 200 career triple-doubles in his career. He needs 2 triple-doubles to be the first player with 200 triple-doubles in his career. That's a phenomenal feat. Shout out to Westbrook for that. Obviously, the triple-double king, we know that, with Oscar Robertson, the big O. Also, Jokic creeping up there as well. Damian Lillard to round out the player milestones. Damian Lillard can climb even higher before the season is over, and he needs about 5 3-pointers. He's about to get there. About 5 3-pointers to pass Reggie Miller for number 4 on the all-time threes made list. So shout out to Damian Lillard for that. And that's some of the upcoming milestones that could be achieved by season's end. Let's listen, family, I'm here to tell y'all, we are witnessing some of the greatest rookie seasons that we have seen in some time with this very, very deep rookie class, right? These young guys are balling, and they're taking this shit seriously. I can't hit on this rookie class right now. This has been a hell of a rookie class, and I've been very impressed with a lot of the rookies. Even about 10 of the rookies I've been very, very, very impressed with, right? So these young guys are balling, like I said before, and they're taking this very seriously. And a rookie that stands out among the rest, who I wanted to focus on for this particular segment, it comes as no surprise. I can't believe what I'm seeing from Victor Wembanyama right now. Wemby has been incredible. He's not only lived up to expectations, but he's also exceeded them, especially my expectations, and not with scoring, but with defense. And that's what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about with you today, family. Not only has the Frenchman shown great handles, terrific passing, good outside shooting, but he's also leading the league in blocks with 3 a game. Nobody else in the league is averaging 3 blocks in the season. Nobody else. Listen, Wemby is having a hell of a season, man. I believe, in my opinion, that Victor Wembanyama is the rookie of the year, and I'm going to go a step further. Wemby should be the rookie of the year and the defensive player of the year, right? How many guys have ever done that in the NBA? I'll tell you right now. None. Nobody has ever done that. Wemby could be the first player in NBA history to win both the Rookie of the Year and the Defensive Player of the Year, especially in the same season. In fact, no NBA player has won both Rookie of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year in the same season. No player has won Defensive Player of the Year in their rookie year to even begin with. So this is already unprecedented waters that he's even considered to be in the Defensive Player of the Year running, right? Only 2 rookies of the year have gone on to win Defensive Player of the Year later on in their careers. Michael Jordan and David Robinson. Alvin Robinson won Defensive Player of the Year in his second season, the only player to do so that early in his career. He averaged an all-time record, I believe, 3.6 steals per game in that season. Mark Eaton and David Robinson also won Defensive Player of the Year in their respective third seasons. Tim Duncan is the only other player to make both an All-NBA and an All-Defensive team in his rookie season, and he was also tied for 5th in Defensive Player of the Year voting that year. Manute Bol was second place in Defensive Player of the Year. Was second in the Defensive Player of the Year ranking in his rookie season, averaging over 4.9 blocks a game. Damn near almost 5 blocks. So that's crazy, right? So there's a couple of options for Defensive Player of the Year this season. There's Rudy Gobert, there's Wemby, and there's maybe AD, right? Now, Rudy, we know he's an established defender, having won Defensive Player of the Year award 3 times already in his career. He's averaging, 12 rebounds and 2 blocks a game this season. But listen, I'm going to make the case. Wemby has been better. He's been a better defensive player. I know what the defensive rating says. Family, let me make the case for Victor Wembanyama, right, for Defensive Player of the Year. Hear me out, family. First of all, he's averaging 20, 10, and 3, 20 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 blocks, 1 steal, and only 28 minutes a night. Let's go over some Wemby accolades that he's had this season, right? Especially defensively. Wemby is the fastest player to reach 1,000 career points, 500 rebounds, 150 plus blocks in their career. Youngest player to record a 5-5 game. Only 15 players have ever had a 5-5 game. 5-5 meaning blocks and steals, 5 blocks, 5 steals. Youngest player to record a 20-20 game. Youngest player to record a triple-double with blocks. Youngest center to record a triple-double. Youngest player in NBA history to record a triple-double with 0 turnovers. Only player in NBA history to average at least 20 points, 10 boards, 3 blocks, and 1 3-pointer per game. Only player in NBA history to have these numbers in the season: 150 plus blocks, 150 plus assists, 75 plus threes in the season. Second player ever to record back-to-back 5 plus steals, 5 plus block games. MJ is the other. Second player ever to record 25 plus points, 10 plus rebounds, 5 plus assists, 5 plus blocks in a game. Hakeem the Dream is the other one. Wemby joins David Robinson, Tim Duncan as the only rookies in NBA history to record 30 plus points, 10 plus rebounds, 5 assists, and 5 blocks in a game. Wemby's averaging 20, 10, and 3 blocks in the season, as I alluded to before. Last player to do this was MVP Shaq. He's the second youngest player to record 10 blocks in a game. He leads the NBA in blocks right now with over 3 a game, the same amount as the whole Miami Heat team, mind you. He's averaging the same amount of blocks as the whole NBA team. He's had more blocks in the month of February than 7 NBA teams. He led the NBA in stocks, which is steals and blocks, with over 4.6. He leads the NBA, He's averaging the most stocks per game of any player in the last 15 years. He's had more blocks in the month of February, I said before, than 7 NBA teams. If someone wants to argue that blocks per game shouldn't be the end-all, be-all in terms of measuring defensive success, let's look at last year. Who won the Defensive Player of the last year? It was Triple J, Jared Jackson Jr. of the Memphis Grizzlies. He won it last year, mainly off his block proficiency. He is an amazing rim protector. He really leads that Grizzlies defense. Obviously, this year they haven't been the greatest year, but Wemby, he's taken his amount of blocks into another stratosphere, right? And I don't want to hear they used blocks as a criteria last year, for Defensive Player of the Year. Why not use it again for Wemby? My favorite Wemby stat out of all, he's not a hack. He doesn't foul his opponent. He only commits 2 fouls a game, which is insane given his activity on defense. Let's put this into context, right? To put this Wemby Rookie of the Year season into context, let's look at the comparison to LeBron James' rookie year, right? Wemby, 20-10, 3 assists, 3 blocks, 1 steal, shooting 47% from the floor. LeBron James in his rookie year, 20 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 0 blocks, 1 steal, 41% from the floor, excuse me. But get this. Wemby is doing all that in 29 minutes a game, 28 minutes a game. LeBron did it in 39 minutes a game in his rookie season. Wemby is playing nearly a quarter of basketball less than LeBron James did in his rookie year, and his numbers are rivaling him, some say even better. So you got to give Wemby a lot of credit right now. Remember how we measure Defensive Player of the Year. Statistical impact, which is blocks, steals, rebounding, defensive rating, consistency, durability in the season, and last but not least, perception. Are opponents fearful of you? Are opponents scared to go to the rim when you're there? Are opponents scared to line up against you because they think you're going to lock them down? That's what a Defensive Player of the Year is to me. When I look at Rudy Gobert, I'm not getting Defensive Player of the Year. Yes, he's the anchor of the number one defensive team in the league, and yet right now, and yes, he's been a major component to that defensive rating that the Timberwolves has. But they have a nice scheme. They play defense well as a unit. They're very big. They're a very physical team. So it's not only Rudy Gobert that contributes to them being the number one defensive team in the league. It's actually a collective unit, even though Rudy does get a lot of the credit. But we've seen the numbers. Wemby's better. This is not normal, folks. What Wemby's doing right now is not normal. I don't care how early it is in Wemby's career. Don't F this up, San Antonio. Not that they have a track record of doing so and messing up talent that they bring in, but you have to put talent around Wemby sooner rather than later. The lifespan of an NBA player is very unpredictable, and you never know what's going to happen. Could be injuries, could be influencing because it be the competitive drive, whatever it is. You don't know what it is, but you can't dictate the lifespan of an NBA player's career, right? This summer, San Antonio, you need to bring in a player that's going to help you win basketball games now and help Wemby win basketball games now, okay? At least be in a star player hunt. None of these under 20 win seasons that you have when you have a generational talent like Wemby on your team. This kid is phenomenal in year one. You got to maximize the potential for as long as you can. The main name that I've seen thrown out there to pair with Wemby has been Trae Young. Now that would be ideal. That would be tremendous. That would be amazing. That would be perfect, actually, for Wemby. Somebody who could take the scoring pressure off of him. Somebody who doesn't mind passing the ball. Somebody who can average double-digit assists in this league. Somebody who wouldn't mind giving up the rock to somebody better than him. Trae Young, I think, will be a phenomenal pairing for Victor Wembanyama. If they can pull that off, I don't know if they can. Excuse me, because Atlanta is probably going to require a king's ransom in order to even get rid of Trae Young, because obviously we know that he's their franchise player. But if he axes out, if Trae Young axes out, the Spurs need to be knocking on their door. So I think it's phenomenal what Wemby has been doing in year one in his first 10 years in the league. And I'm telling you, I love the passion from him. I love the drive. I love his competitiveness. And he's really has been embracing being the number one option, being a franchise player for the San Antonio Spurs. So let's hear a clip from Wemby with him embracing those Spurs fans. Let's hear Wemby.
I love it. I missed it. Enjoying a game, a win back from the road trip with more than 16,000 people that I love. Best feeling. Hey, can we get a Go Spurs Go? 1, 2, 3, go Spurs Go!
Shout out to Wemby, man. Shout out to Wemby. I love to see it. We love to see it. We love to see him embracing being the number one guy, embracing being a franchise guy for the San Antonio Spurs. And listen, family, Wemby has my vote for Defensive Player of the Year, and it's not going to change by season end. He's going to be the Rookie of the Year, and he should be the Defensive Player of the Year. So my vote is for Wemby. I'm putting it on wax right now. Put your votes in. Victor Wembanyama should be Defensive Player of the Year. I don't want to hear no Rudy Gobert, nothing. And by the way, Wemby deserves a better nickname. An elite nickname. He's too much of a generational talent to not have a solid nickname. You know, we can't use Slim Reaper. Obviously, none of those things was KD's nicknames. But what nickname does he have? I haven't heard one. I heard they called him Alien or whatever. Or LeBron James called him Alien or something like that on Instagram. But that shit kind of whack. That's kind of weak to me, to be honest. Unless they're going to make that stick, but I personally think that's kind of whack. I don't know. I'm not a good nickname kind of guy. I don't know. Maybe you could call him the Thin Tower. Maybe the Slim Tower. You know, I mean, who knows? He doesn't have a twin tower with him, but he could be something like that. But shout out to Wemby for his exceptional play in year one and coming out the gate very, very strong. So shout out to Wemby. He's been amazing. Family, I wanted to transition over into something that I definitely came here to talk about. One of my main topics for coming here today for doing this episode, right? We got to talk about the MVP race. I'm not liking what I'm seeing right now. I'm not liking what I'm seeing in the MVP race in terms of, you know, the narrative around the MVP race right now. The narrative around the MVP candidates in particular. And one MVP candidate in particular, which is what I want to focus in on, is out of control. Jayson Tatum is who I'm coming here to talk about, right? The Jayson Tatum disrespect has gotten out of hand. It really has, family. I'm going to be honest. It really has. This may be only a Twitter thing. I don't know. But I'm sick of it right now. I want to know why you Twitter nerds don't think Jayson Tatum is MVP caliber or capable of being MVP right now. It's getting ridiculous at this point, and it's starting to sound like hate. Basic MVP criteria here. Does he have the best team? Yes. Is he the go-to guy for said team? Yes. Is he top 10 in points? Yes. I'm noticing that a lot of Jayson Tatum's early success has created an unrealistic expectation for him right now. Being 25 or 26 with no ring is normal, people. Chill out. It's normal. Not every player can win early in their career. Not a lot of players don't even get to win at all in their careers, right? I go on Twitter and I see the conversation around Jayson Tatum, and I've been seeing a lot of this choker narrative, this choker talk. How? I would like someone who's listening to this show to explain to me how Jayson Tatum is a choker already in his career. Does he have bad games? Of course. 2 years ago in the finals against Golden State, could he have played better? Yes. Last year against Miami in the Eastern Conference Finals, could he have played better in order to prevent them going down 3-0? Of course. How is there a narrative that Jayson Tatum chokes in the playoffs, though? Choking to me means you don't show up. Choking to me is James Harden level of choking, meaning you contribute nothing. You're just a body. When has Jayson Tatum ever been just a body in one of these Celtics playoff runs? It's never happened. You're exaggerating. Let's be real now. His career regular season average, 23, 7, and 3. His career postseason average, 23, 7, and 4. So it actually went up a little bit. It actually went up. Since 2020, Jayson Tatum has the most playoff points, the second most playoff wins in the NBA behind Jimmy Butler, I believe, 2 Eastern Conference Finals appearances, 1 NBA Finals appearance, an Eastern Conference Finals MVP, and averaging 28 points per game in elimination games. How is that a choker? How? I want to know. I want to know how is that a choker. It takes a lot to go right in order to win a championship. It's hard. At age 25, 26, calling a player a choker is crazy, especially if he has about 10 or so years left in his career, because he does have about 10 years or so left, right? So Jayson Tatum has been disrespected in the MVP rankings, and it's gotten out of hand, right? The best defense I've seen for him not being at the top of the list is because of what? His team is stacked. I don't think his team is stacked. I just think they have the best 5-man unit in the league, but their bench is still suspect, family. Let's be real. The Celtics bench is still a little suspect. This is not a super team by any stretch of the imagination. If you think this is a super team, then you don't know what super teams are. Yes, they have an elite starter 5 unit. Yes, their pieces complement each other well. That's what people, I think, are mistaken for super team. Their 5-man unit complements each other well. Yes, JT's an all-star caliber player. Yes, Jaylen Brown's an all-star caliber player. Yes, Jrue Holiday is a borderline all-star caliber player. Porzingis, he's not an all-star level player. He can have all-star level play at times, but he's not an all-star. Derek White, he's not an all-star. He's an elite role player. He's not an all-star. And after that, come on now, go down the list. Go look at that Celtics depth chart right now. Coming off the bench, Al Horford, Peyton Pritchard, O'Shea Brissett, Luke Cornett. These are not elite guys that are coming off the bench. So to say a super team is a stretch. is a major stretch to me. You guys are hating and penalizing a guy who consistently wins year after year. Winning doesn't always mean championships, but Tatum is a winning player, especially in his career. It's hard to win in this league as all, but the consistent production that he gives on a nightly basis for a great team cannot be overlooked. Every year, y'all criteria for MVP changes, and who cares what anyone thinks anymore? If you want to reward winning, JT is your guy, and deservingly so. The best player on the consistently best team in the league all year. Jayson Tatum in the season, averaging 27 points per game, 8 rebounds a game, a career-high 4.8 assists, and a 60% true shooting percentage. Only 3 other players have put up 27, 8, and 4, and a 60% true shooting percentage on a team with a 75% win percentage. Giannis, Malone, Kareem. And guess what? All 3 of those guys won MVP in that year. Jayson Tatum deserves MVP. Jayson Tatum is the best player on the best team in the league, and he should be rewarded for that. He also leads the best team in the NBA in points and rebounds, in assists and steals. That's 4 major statistical categories that Jayson Tatum leads the best team in the NBA with. Although he's taken a dip in his scoring average, a slight dip, he's still sacrificed in order to make the Boston Celtics the unstoppable force that they have been in this season. He has to take a sacrifice. And it's not all about stats. It's how you affect the game in a variety of ways. Every year, he continues to ascend into the superstar that Boston fans were hoping that he would be. JT continues not only to develop offensively, but also defensively. Most importantly, he's finally becoming a leader. Marcus Smart needed to get out of the way in order for JT to shine. He didn't need Marcus Smart try to come in there and big bro him last year and all the years prior. I'm better than you, son. You can't tell me shit. You can't big bro me. I'm better than you. Marcus Smart was always running his mouth, and he was always in the way of Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown being the true leaders of the Celtics team. And maybe they weren't ready before, but they're ready now. Kristaps Porzingis is a much better fit personality-wise, and JT is finally blossoming into the leader that we all know he is, and we all know he could have been, which he is right now. So Jayson Tatum, you gotta give him a lot of respect for being the best player on the best team, and that's a lot of my argument that goes into him being the MVP of the league this year. This is his year. This is JT's year right now. His time is now. It's not yesterday, it's not next week, it's not next year, it's not 2 years from now. Jayson Tatum's time is now. So let's hear a clip from JT talking about how he's the best player in the league and his best player in the league status.
Who do you think's the best player in the NBA right now?
Myself.
Have you always had that kind of confidence? Because I asked you that question a year ago and you said it was Giannis. So what's given you that confidence?
I got a lot of respect for a lot of guys in the league.
Yeah.
Giannis for sure. Jokic obviously just won. Embiid, guys that won MVPs. And the list goes on. The league is in a great place. I truly do believe every time I step on the floor, I'm the best player.
Are y'all hearing that? He truly believes every time he steps on the floor, he's the best player on the floor. You got to believe that if you're the MVP of the league. You got to believe that if you're the guy on the team. You got to believe that if you're trying to win a championship this year. You got to believe that if you're on your way to win a championship this year. Tatum has been incredible. The Celtics have been incredible as a team. Why is he not being rewarded for his team's success? The Celtics this season, the highest offensive rating of all time. They're in the NBA right now. They're top 3 in offensive rating and defensive rating this season. They have the best home record by a team since 2016. The Celtics even outscored their opponents by 11 points per game, which would be the 5th best mark in NBA history, with 4 teams with better marks, all having gone to win the NBA championship in that season. 3rd best Celtics record all time through 60 games. And in Boston team's history, only the 64-65 Celtics and the 85-86 Celtics at 49-11 had a better record through 69 games. And both of those teams ended up winning the title. At this point, what does Jayson Tatum have to do to win the MVP award? It smells like hate to me, family. Cut the disrespect, cut the goalpost changing for MVP every single year. You people are just picking who you like rather than who deserves it. Jayson Tatum is my MVP of the NBA this year. Put that on the set. Let's talk about some of the other MVP candidates that's going against Jayson Tatum, I think, in my opinion, for MVP in this league. You got Joker, you got SGA, you got Giannis, you got Tatum, you got Luka, and you got Ant Edwards, in my opinion. Those, to me, are all the MVP candidates, and I don't think there are any more. Those guys, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 MVP, 6 legitimate MVP candidates this year right now, if you ask me, in my opinion, right? So I'm going to give you my top 5 MVP candidates in order right now of who I think how it should go. Number 1, Jayson Tatum. 27, 8, and 4. Best player on the best team in the league. Gotta give him his love. He's number 1 on my MVP rankings. Number 2, I got SGA. Phenomenal season. Probably the best. I don't know if you want to call him a point guard, 2 guard, or combo guard, whatever you want to call him. One of the best in the league. Added, obviously, top 3. SGA has been a man on a mission this year, and he's been phenomenal. He's been unstoppable this year. If you're looking at his highlight tape, he's killing. SGA is crossing up everybody. His mid-range is butter. Layup package, insane. You can't stop this guy. SGA averaging 31 points per game, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. Shooting over 50% from the floor. Amazing. Number 3, I'm going Ant Edwards. I like what Ant Edwards is doing right now. I know he's getting a lot of hate right now, and I don't know why. He's getting love and hate at the same time because I don't think people are really messing with him in really the MVP rankings. But in my MVP rankings, he's up there. He's number 3. He's averaging 26, 5, and 5 for the second best team in the league. Second best record in the league. They're flip-flopping between 2 and 3 between them and the Oklahoma City Thunder SGA team. But Ant Edwards has to be given a lot of credit. The team is finally officially his. He has the pieces around him to help him succeed. He's actually embracing that leadership role, and he's embracing being the number 1 option this year. You got to give him credit for that. So I got Ant Edwards at number 3. Number 4, Nikola Jokic, right? We got to throw him up there. Perennial MVP candidate, averaging 26, 12, and 8 this year. Typical numbers for Jokic. I'm not impressed by Jokic triple doubles anymore. That's what he does. He's nasty. He's great. Defending MVP. That's what he does. Now he's being judged only on championships. So I'm not giving Jokic another MVP award. I'm sorry. I'm not giving it to him. Damn sure not again. I'm damn sure not giving it to him. Moving on. After Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic. I got him there. Luka Doncic averaging 34, 8, and 9. That's ridiculous. Averaging 34 points per game right now. In 2024, that's ridiculous, Luka. So I'm going to give him some love. The only thing that knocks him down, I'll be honest, because I could have put him up there at 2 or 3. Only thing that knocks him down, in my opinion, is that the Dallas Mavericks are right now in 7th or 8th spot in the Western Conference. So they got to up that record. I can't give somebody MVP that's an AC. I'm sorry, it's not happening. I can't do that. So because of his team record, you see why team success factors into the MVP voting. I just explained. I went on a whole soliloquy about Jayson Tatum and why he should be MVP. A lot of it is because of team success and how he's been performing on said best team in the league. Luka Doncic, he can up that stock very easily if his team has a couple more wins, if they stop losing some of these meaningless games that they win. But I'm going to talk about the Dallas Mavericks in an upcoming episode because I like what they've done at the trade deadline. I think they're the sleeper in the West on the lowest of keys. I like what Luka's doing. And then you got Giannis, averaging 30, 11, 6. Amazing. I mean, but that's typical Giannis. Once again, he's in the same boat as Jokic right now. Typical Giannis. I expect nothing less from Giannis Antetokounmpo. But he can't be MVP this season because the Bucks, they haven't been what they came into the season everybody thought they were going to be. So they have taken a little bit of a step back in terms of team success. So I have to knock him down. And he don't need MVP right now. Giannis don't need MVP. It's all about championships for him. It's not his time for MVP, all right? It's JT's time. It's SGA's time. It's Ant Edwards' time. It's Luka's time. All of those boys, it's their times to win MVP. So those are my top 5 MVP candidates. Jayson Tatum, SGA, Ant Edwards, Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic. That's my top 5 MVP candidates right now. And listen, the NBA MVP award has become so mysterious and it's hard to even understand anymore. With all this new undefined criteria and unfair media narratives placed on a lot of these players, fairly and unfairly for a lot of them, the award to me has lost some value. What is even a criteria anymore? The goalpost changes every year, every season, every couple of months, every couple of weeks. It's all dependent on who you guys like rather than who deserves it. I'm all about who deserves it, not who I like, even though JT is my guy. but he deserves it this year. And I don't think there's been a year that he's deserved it more than he has this year. So family, hit me in the comments on IG, on Twitter, on YouTube, on Facebook. Let me know your top 5 MVP candidates. Throw it out in the comments of this video right here. Hit me up on Twitter when I put the graphic out on Instagram. Let me know your top 5 MVP candidates. I want to know. And when you send it to me in order. I want to know in order. I don't want to hear, here's my top 5 in no particular order. Nah. I want the order. Don't be a chump. Moving on, family. Another topic that I want to get to that's near and dear to my heart that I made sure I came here to talk about today. I got to talk about my guy, Paolo Banchero. Paolo Banchero. I'm going to say it that way. Listen, it's been a while since the Orlando Magic has had a star that they could sit back and marvel at. Man, listen, I've been telling you guys from last year, people who listen to the show, people who follow me on Twitter, who see the stuff that I tweet all the time, who I talk about all the time. Paolo Banchero has been on my list since he entered the league. Paolo Banchero is the truth. The truth. I'm telling you right now. Paolo Banchero is a top 5 player in the Eastern Conference this year. Debate your moms. Top 5 in the East. I'm telling you right now, 6'10", 220, mobile, very polished game, almost Melo-esque. Can dribble, pass, and shoot, stop on a dime, has a mid-range, power, finesse, plays defense, plays with effort, very coachable, respectable, and he's clutch. Paolo in the clutch is top tier, family. Let me tell you something. Let me show you something. Paolo Banchero's clutch stats in 2024. Most clutch minutes in the NBA. 3rd most points, clutch points in the NBA. Only 3rd behind Steph and De'Aaron Fox for most clutch points in 2024. The most field goal attempts in the clutch. The most free throws attempted in the clutch. And the most free throws made in the clutch this season. Is that not a clutch player? He's made 15 of his 28 shot attempts in the clutch this season, which is over a 53% field goal percentage. In the clutch. In the clutch. In the clutch. Paolo Banchero is averaging 22, 6, and 5 on the season. Here are the list of players who are averaging 22, 6, and 5 this season. Giannis, KD, LeBron James, Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic, Paolo Banchero. 21 years old. First All-Star selection this season. And to put this into context, here are the players leading their team in points per game, rebounds per game, and assists per game. The only players in the NBA who are leading the team in those 3 major statistical categories. Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic, Jayson Tatum, Paolo Banchero. 21 years old. That's the list, family. If that doesn't scream out to you, this man is an all-star, borderline all-NBA. To me, he's all-NBA right now. He's all-NBA right now. A lot of people are going to hate on him, say he's borderline NBA, whatever. He's too young. He's in his 2nd year. I don't care. He's making my all-NBA team this year. I'll tell you right now, top 5. Put that on the set. Paolo Banchero is only one of only 4 players in the last 40 years to have career averages of 20-plus points, 6-plus rebounds, 4 assists at age 21 or younger. You know that list? Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Paolo Banchero. That's the list. That's the list. Let's hear a clip right now from my man Paolo showing his emotions after one of the clutch games that he had. I believe this was against the Detroit Pistons, and he had a tough game win against Detroit. Listen to the passion from my man.
But walk me through that play and just how important it was to get that game-winning shot.
And it was important. Well, it was important. It was a hard game, and you know, I've been sick. You know.
Take your time. Take your time. Walk me through the emotions that you're feeling right now to help this team get a win in this hard game against the Pistons tonight.
Oh my God, I'm sorry about that. It's just been tough, man. I've been feeling terrible. I played terrible, and I just give credit to my teammates, man. They lifted me up the whole game, and so I don't know why I'm fucking crying right now. I don't know why I'm crying right now. It was a hard game, and I'm proud of my team for sure.
All right, thanks, Paolo. We'll let you get some rest. Guys, let's go ahead and play that song.
Shout out to my man Paolo for being a young player, showing his emotion, showing his passion. So much so that he even cried in the post game. He cried because he was so hyped. He was so happy that he actually had the opportunity to hit a game winner and hit it. He was feeling sick that game. In that particular game, he was very under the weather. He was actually supposed to take off that game, but he forced himself to play, and look how he's rewarded. That's a real player. That's a big-time player. That's a player that cares. You know I like players that care, and Paolo Banchero cares, right? The Orlando Magic right now, they're the third team to surpass their win total from last season. Most importantly, they climbed to 6th place in the East, having won 11 of the last 14 games. Everything for this Orlando Magic team revolves around Paolo Banchero and his growing stardom. As Paolo's confidence and poise grows, so does the ceiling for the Orlando Magic. Give this young man his respect. He's been hooping for 2 years straight, top 5 in the East. Debate your moms. Now, can the Magic win a playoff series? I don't know. Let's see who they match up with. But top 5 in the East, I put that on the set. Family, let's close out the show going into some news around the NBA. I'm going to try to run through these topics rather quickly after hearing my couple of soliloquies on a couple of the players that I wanted to talk about. First up, the Los Angeles Clippers. They're unveiling a massive rebrand right now. Shout out to the Clippers for that. It's part of the new era for their team that will include new uniforms, colors, and a new $2 billion arena when they move to Inglewood next year. Shout out to the Clippers for, most importantly, getting out of the Lakers' shadow. That's what's important for them, and shout out to the Clippers for that. It's about time they do that. It's well overdue. And speaking of the Clippers, Russell Westbrook has been injured recently in this past week. You know, that's some tough news that that the Clippers are gonna have to deal with. One of the NBA's top 6 men in the league this year. He underwent surgery the other day on his left hand, fractured his left hand. He's hopeful that he'll be returning sometime before the Western Conference playoffs, which are in April. Hopefully so, because usually when players rehab from these type of hand fractures and hand injuries, it usually takes them about 4 to 8 weeks or 4 to 6 weeks, something like that. You've seen Chris Paul already went through that this year with the same hand. He fractured his hand and he came back within 6 to 7 weeks. So Russell Westbrook is an Iron Man, so hopefully he comes back sooner rather than later. And the Clippers are also hopeful that he comes back in April. And if he does return in April, the Clippers have about 8 games in 14 days, including 2 back-to-backs before the postseason begins. And listen, the Clippers are going to have to find a way to replace Russell Westbrook's energy and his aggression. They're going to need it, because if you look at that Clippers roster, up and down that roster, there's a lot of mild-mannered dudes. Kawhi Leonard, mild-mannered. Paul George, mild-mannered. James Harden, mild-mannered. Zubac, mild-mannered. Russell Westbrook is the aggression on that team. He is the energy on that team. He is the emotional leader on that team. So not having him on the floor is going to be difficult for the Clippers. And you see already they're losing games. You see them, they already went to Milwaukee. They lost to the Bucks without Giannis or from just Damian Lillard. You had Patrick Beverly over there parading around the floor like he was doing something, over there talking wild shit to the Clippers. That's a problem. Russell Westbrook not allowing that. Not allowing that. So hopefully Russell Westbrook, I wish him a speedy recovery and he comes back soon. Also, I forgot to mention, haven't been on in a while, obviously, so I'm gonna be backtracking to some of the news that I also wanted to briefly discuss. Shaq gets his jersey retired by the Orlando Magic. Shout out to him. Shaq he had his number 32 jersey raised to the rafters by the Orlando Magic, becoming the first player to have his number retired by the franchise. The Lakers and the Heat both have retired Shaq's jersey already. He's the first player to have his jersey retired by at least 3 different franchises, joining Bill Russell, Will Chamberlain, Pistol Pete Maravich as the only players to do that. He spent 4 years in Orlando. Obviously, he won Rookie of the Year there. He also appeared in an All-Star game every year that he was there with the Magic, and he led the franchise to his first ever NBA Finals appearance. So, well-deserved for Shaquille O'Neal. Averaged 27, 12, and I think 3 blocks in his Orlando Magic tenure, all which ranked top 3 for career averages in franchise history. So shout out to Shaq for that. Also, some more milestones. We got to talk about Kobe a little bit. His statue outside the Crypto.com arena has been revealed. Excuse me. Obviously, they had the press conference with Vanessa Bryant. She had an amazing speech. Daughter there as well. It was very heartfelt. It was an amazing thing to watch. Shout out to Kobe. Rest in peace. Rest in power, my friend. Well deserved. Shout out to him to having his statue. The NBA community, the NBA as a whole misses you. They mourn for you. So much love to you, much respect. And I'm glad he finally got his statue. Well overdue also as well. Quickly for the Nets, the Brooklyn Nets, Jacques Vaughn was let go. He was rinsed. Listen, after firing Jacques Vaughn, the Brooklyn Nets, I'm going to have another episode on that, how disappointed I am with them. And we know where the disappointment lies is Ben Simmons. I am not even going to call him that Australian dude, right? He's the reason why the Brooklyn Nets are in the position that they are. If he was here, they may have been better. If he attempted to play, they may have been better. But they've been missing the dude who makes the most money on the team has been missing all year. How good could you really be? So they fired Jacques Vaughn coming out of the All-Star break. They promoted assistant Kevin Ollie to interim head coach on Tuesday. Shout out to Kevin Ollie. The hopes are that Kevin Ollie can re-energize the Nets team. They dropped to the bottom 10 in both offensive and defensive efficiency, so they have not been playing well. What a damn mess. They're outside of the playoff race right now. They just scratching the surface of the play-in. So the Nets, very disappointing. I'm even going to talk about them anymore. Moving on to the Knicks. Just some quick injury news for them. Jalen Brunson has been injured. Obviously, as everybody watching, he got injured over the weekend playing against the Cleveland Cavaliers, I believe. He injured his left knee, and they're calling it right now a bruised left knee. So a bruised left knee for Jalen Brunson. They're not sure how long he's going to be out. Prayers up to him for a speedy recovery because the Knicks are playing well. They're finally respectable. They're finally of relevance. They were last year and the year before prior as well, but right now they're really taken serious as a really viable candidate that can make some noise in the East. I didn't think they were going to do nothing last year. This year, I had some hopes for them. They were really playing well. Jalen Brunson's really coming into his own. I'm a big Jalen Brunson guy. He's been amazing this year. He should have been starting on that All-Star team over Tyrese Halliburton, in my opinion, but I know it was in Indy, so they had to throw him that bone a little bit, but Jalen Brunson has been amazing this year. One of my favorite players to watch in the league, carrying the Knicks on his back, doing it as he should, and putting New York Knicks on the map. So shout out to Jalen Brunson. Hopefully he has a speedy recovery to him, and he gets back soon, healthy and ready to go for a long playoff chase. Quickly with the Bucks, I think they made it 6 or 7 in a row. Coming out the All-Star break, they went really well. All the Doc Rivers haters are quiet now. All I hear is whispers from the Doc Rivers haters. They are not there anymore. I don't want to hear from them. Let the Bucks really figure out their place as a team and really get there as a unit. Quickly, Bronny, USC freshman Bronny, he's expected to weigh his entry into the draft as well based on specific team interest, not draft position. That's what Rich Paul said. So we're not sure if Bronny's still going to be entering the draft next year. I don't think he will. I think he should wait another year because he hasn't been that great for USC. So Bronny, he needs to do a little better. The NBA standings, let's take a look at the NBA standings. It's a little crazy. The top 3 teams in the West are separated by a half a game. 4 through 7 in the East are separated by 1 loss. And the teams 4 through 8 in the West are separated by 2 games. So the NBA standings are crazy. Family, I appreciate you joining me for once again for another episode. Hit me up with your questions, your topics, your comments, your NBA takes, and all of that good stuff. Subscribe, cop your merch, family. Tell a friend to tell a friend. This is episode 220. Thanks for you joining me once again, family. And we out.